Welcome to Practice Playbook, the podcast where we get real about what it actually takes to build, grow, and run a modern financial advisory practice. I'm Brandon Chapman, an independent financial advisor here in Vancouver and the founder of AdvisorFlow. Each episode comes straight from one of our live sessions, but trimmed down into quick, practical insights you can take back to your business right away.
You are a financial advisor, and right now you are stuck in what we can really only call corporate limbo. I mean, you have the skills, you have the client base, and you have been dreaming about true independence for months, maybe even years.
But you are hesitating.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are waiting for the perfect moment or, a definitive sign to finally make the leap. Well, consider this deep dive your sign.
I love that.
Today, we are unpacking this really fascinating recent practice management webinar. It was hosted by Brandon Chapman, the founder of AdvisorFlow, and he brought together two advisors, Tara, the founder of True Investments in Insurance, and Herman, the founder of Crimson Financial.
And both of them were exactly where you are right now.
Yes, they transitioned from these highly comfortable, very secure corporate roles to launching their own thriving, independent practices. So our mission today is to be that final nudge for you, the straw that breaks the camel's back. We are going to look at their journeys to prove that the water is warm, the technology is fully mature, and it is officially time for you to trade your corporate paycheck for your own payroll.
It is a massive crossroad in any advisor's career.
Yeah.
And frankly, if you are feeling a deep sense of hesitation right now, that is completely valid. It's normal.
Oh, absolutely.
As Brandon Chapman's discussion highlights right out of the gate,
Independent financial advisory is at its core an entrepreneurial line of work. Yes, you need to understand markets, insurance, financial planning, and tax strategies, but just as important is your ability to handle income volatility, uncertainty, and the emotional responsibility of managing people's life savings. If that part doesn't resonate with you, then yeah, it's going to be a pretty challenging path.
but how does someone actually develop that level of psychological armor? I mean, clearly it doesn't happen overnight.
No, it takes time.
Looking at Tara's story, she actually started in financial advisory in her 20s, felt the timing wasn't right, and retreated to the safety of the corporate world. But the desire to build something of her own kept simmering. She watched other independent advisors, saw the deep level of care they could offer without corporate constraints. And she had this realization.
There was always this sort of thought in the back of my mind that if I could do it again in my own way, I would just love it. I had that sort of in the back of my mind, and eventually that got louder and louder for me. And something that I kind of tried to push away at times because I was enjoying my corporate career. I was doing really great things. I was enjoying the teams that I was working with. And so for me, it was that, do I listen to this? And where's it coming from? And is it just like this idea, or is it actually real? The nudge just got so loud that I listened, and I just took the leap, and yeah, I'm so happy I did.
Herman offers a completely different angle on that exact same tipping point.
I spent the last 15 with Canada Life, and I've lost count of how many people I've met over the years that I've either recruited or tried to recruit or have been aligned to and worked with, and I took something out of every single interaction, and also the lifestyle that many of the more successful advisors led, and the community work that a lot of them did.
And when he finally made the leap to launch Crimson Financial, he talked about the sheer relief of leaving those massive compliance shackles behind.
Oh, the red tape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's absolute freedom. I feel extremely free to be able to really share and showcase my real personality to the world has been such a fun experience.
And that freedom of personality, I mean, it has massive tangible business implications.
How so?
It translates directly into agility. Herman tells a specific story in the webinar that illustrates just how lethal this agility can be to his corporate competitors.
Oh, right. The email story.
Yes.
Now, just as a very quick caveat for you listening, we are completely politically neutral here.
Absolutely.
We aren't endorsing any candidates, international tariff policies, or the specific views in Herman's email at all.
Right. We are looking at this strictly from a business agility standpoint.
Exactly, because the mechanism at play here is just fascinating.
I had sent out a market outlook email about a week ago on a Saturday morning right after Trump threatened Canada. So I included that in the email, sent it out literally like an hour and a half later. So I didn't have to wait until like I was going to clock in on a Monday at 8:30 or 9 and then do other stuff, help maybe put out some fires via email and then send it out before lunch on Monday. I sent it out Saturday morning and I had two clients and I had a center of influence that basically responded right away. Said, "Wow, that looks really good. Like that was really helpful, really timely." Um, and I didn't have to run that by anybody. Like I even included an image of Trump and Carney in a boxing ring about to fight each other. That was thanks to AI, which we'll touch on later on today. But I was able to put that into this email sending out to all my clients and some of my centers of influence so they can spread the word. And I was able to do that and make those kind of decisions literally within like an hour and a half.
Now, if you were still at a corporate firm, the process to address that would be agonizing.
Oh, impossible.
You have to wait until Monday to draft a memo, submit it to a compliance department.
Wait for legal review.
Yeah, and maybe get a watered-down generic version approved by Tuesday afternoon if he's lucky.
Exactly. You cannot overstate how powerful that is.
His clients are getting real-time, highly relevant analysis from a human being they trust, while the corporate advisors are quite literally still asleep in bed.
It completely disrupts the traditional value proposition. The client realizes they don't need the massive institution to stay informed.
Right.
They just need an empowered, hyper-responsive expert.
I do want to push back on this a little bit, though.
Okay.
Because that level of absolute freedom introduces a terrifying flip side.
When you make this shift, your brand is you, which can be scary. It's like, oh my gosh, you're out there for all to see. You're not representing, a big brand where you're kind of like hiding in behind it a little bit. Like, yes, of course, you're an individual, but you're out there for everyone to see. And that's a scary place.
Right. One day, you have a marketing department, an IT department, and an accounting team. The next day, you are entirely alone.
Yeah.
If the website breaks, you fix it. If a compliance form is filed incorrectly, the fine comes directly out of your pocket.
And that vulnerability of being the chief everything officer is precisely why so many people stay in the corporate skyscraper.
So how do you survive that?
Well, the way you survive that total plunge into responsibility is by fundamentally changing how you operate.
Right.
If you don't have the hours in the day to do it all, you have to replace human departments with digital ecosystems.
And this brings us right to the operational reality of the solo founder.
Let's talk about it.
Because if your executive team is actually a software stack,
Yeah.
how do you even begin to build it?
It's tricky.
Tara's launch story is wild here because she started her business right in the middle of COVID.
Oh, wow. Talk about bad timing.
Right. She couldn't meet people in person, meaning she had to build an entire brand and establish client trust purely through a screen.
That's incredibly hard in finance.
But she operated on one core guiding question.
How could I create as seamless a client experience as I could?
And that philosophy is critical because it shifts the focus away from buying software just because it's trendy.
Right.
And toward building a digital assembly line that feels effortless for the end user.
Makes sense.
When discussing their strategy for picking software, they highlighted a very pragmatic approach.
We're going to be in business for decades. So the decisions we make is which problem does it solve today and which problem will it evolve to solve in the future.
So they aren't going out and buying generic one-size-fits-all business software.
No, not at all.
They are intentionally selecting purpose-built tools designed specifically for the nuanced, highly regulated world of financial advisory.
Exactly.
Hey, are you enjoying the episode so far? If so, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Connect with me on LinkedIn at Brandon Chapman and let me know what topics you'd like to hear next. And if you're finding this episode valuable, don't forget to leave a review or share it with a colleague who might also enjoy it. Now back to the episode.
Okay, when it comes to my tech stacks, for those that are considering, getting a website, Squarespace is definitely a great option. I've also decided to use Microsoft 365 just because was originally going to use Calendly, which has been around for a very long time, but I figured if there's one less tool I don't have to pay for, which leads me to AdvisorFlow. So just like Tara, I was a very early adopter. It is the first piece of tech that I introduced to a prospect or a client. The ability to customize my onboarding survey or surveys, I send people a bunch of them, has allowed me to become much more efficient. And because people live such busy lives now, people can respond to my surveys and complete them on their own time. And from there, it flows into my CRM, which is a newer one for those that don't know. Layla has been around for a couple years, but definitely making a lot of noise in the last year and a half, I would say. I'm very happy that AdvisorFlow and Layla were able to join forces. So a lot of the information I do collect flows into my CRM. From there, I do a bunch of analytical work. On the investment side, I use Cap Intel for my KYP process. And then for pure analysis, I use a software called Wealth Scope. It allows me to analyze somebody's investment statements. And then, of course, there's LDA for insurance analysis and different types of solutions that exist out there. And then for planning, I actually use Conquest and Planworth. And the rest of the stack, I've been trying out Focal. I was using Fathom like Terra for the last year plus, but Focal is very focused on the financial services industry, and it also includes behavioral finance insights in the coaching that you get in the report after the meeting. And lastly, with AI, I think I just want to give a shout out to Gemini Pro and Perplexity Pro. Those are my two favorites.
And by linking these tools, they create an automated funnel.
During your process, I have some templated workflows in Calendly. So a pre-email before a financial wellness check-in with a link to an AdvisorFlow survey. And so that goes out 2 weeks in advance. The survey link is there. They go in and complete the survey. So it's like you build the survey, but then if you can work it into another process or workflow to simplify it, yeah, super amazing.
The necessity of this digital polish really comes down to the baseline expectation of the modern client.
Oh, totally.
Everybody is used to a digital experience now, right? Whether it's Amazon, Skip the Dishes, Uber Eats, Uber, all the major banks, you name it, right? Like everybody's used to everything at their fingertips and getting answers and getting things delivered and getting things done at their fingertips. If you can keep up with that, or at least sort of emulate a chunk of that, so that this is not, sticking out like a sore thumb in somebody's everyday life. I think it's gonna, at least help you keep pace with what's happening out there.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the technology isn't merely about efficiency.
What else is it doing?
It's about establishing immediate professional credibility. A solo practitioner can now deploy tools that make them look, feel, and operate like a massive institution.
Yeah, that's huge.
But we have to look at the harsh truth of the math behind this.
Oh, the costs.
Because this level of bespoke digital infrastructure costs real money.
It really does.
Tara is incredibly transparent in the webinar. She spends about $10,000 a year just on her tech stack.
Yep.
And you have to remember, when she started, she didn't bring a book of business with her. She had zero revenue.
She hits the listener with this incredibly sobering quote.
What investment as an entrepreneur are you going to make before you've even got your first client?
When you do make that investment, though, the return on the psychology of client interaction is huge.
Oh, definitely.
We touched on onboarding earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Herman has this brilliant tactic he uses with prospects.
I loved this part.
I still remember the old days of doing, fact find meetings and helping my new advisors do fact find discovery meetings, literally using pen and paper. And now I basically send an email to a prospective client and their partner, and sometimes they get it back to me within a couple of days. Sometimes it takes 2 weeks, but it's also very psychological, but also positively impactful at the same time, because now they've got skin in the game. You're literally assigning homework to them that they have to complete if they want to move forward. So if they take the time to do it, they're going to want to see what comes out of it. So you really want to create that partnership dynamic between you and the prospective client.
And the technology effectively filters out the tire kickers who aren't serious and deeply engages the ones who are. It streamlines the data collection so heavily that when the advisor and the client finally sit down together, they skip all the boring data entry.
Right to the good stuff.
They can immediately start having high-level, soulful conversations about what the client actually wants out of their life.
And she proves the authenticity of that approach by practicing exactly what she preaches.
And so sharing what I'm doing in my personal life shows them, okay, so when she's talking about this, she's not just saying everybody do it, she's doing it. This little one up in the top corner where it's a picture of it, looks like a little cottage, is this past year, the location that we did our annual money jam. So it's a weekend away, and my husband and I, we look at the year ahead, think about our goals, but also talk about our money. And where do we want our money to flow? What are our priorities for the year? Like, this is something we've been doing annually, the first weekend in January. for a number of years. And we love to pick a cute spot that's going to be fun and relaxing and calming.
It is a brilliant way to remove the sterile corporate barrier.
Absolutely.
She isn't just selling a theoretical financial plan from behind a mahogany desk. She is showing her clients that she is in the trenches, doing the exact same hard work in her own marriage and her own life.
You use hyper-modern technology to deliver hyper-traditional human empathy.
Exactly.
It's a profound shift.
The mechanics of that 100 families rule are fascinating.
And a lot of people think about, I need to go viral on social media and I need to get hundreds of thousands of followers. But in reality, we really only need to have a great business, maybe 100 families as clients. And for the right people, that's going to be a very profitable business. You don't need to have hundreds of thousands. It's more about the quality of the relationships, the quality of the people you're working with, and that ultimately leads you to build a quality business.
You suddenly have the bandwidth to deeply understand the intricacies of those 100 lives.
Right. And from a revenue standpoint, 100 well-serviced clients paying an ongoing advisory fee generates a fantastic living without requiring a massive staff. And, as we look at the broader landscape of modern work, this raises a deeply provocative question for you to mull over. If affordable, off-the-shelf AI and software ecosystems now allow a single isolated individual to perfectly emulate the scale, the polish, and the efficiency of a massive global corporation, why would a client pay a premium for a giant bureaucratic institution when a solo practitioner can deliver the exact same technical excellence, but with infinitely more agility and genuine personal care?
That is the ultimate question for the next decade of business. If you are willing to step out into the wilderness and you learn how to wield these new digital tools,
which are right there waiting for you.
Exactly. You might just find that you can build a shelter that is stronger, faster, and far more beautiful than the building you left behind.
Thanks for tuning in to Practice Playbook. If today's episode was helpful, be sure to subscribe so you'll never miss an update. For more tips and insights, be sure to follow AdvisorFlow on social media and stay tuned for upcoming episodes featuring expert speakers and practical advice to elevate your practice. Until next time, keep striving for excellence and building a practice that reflects your goals.